Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Waking Hypnosis Show with Stephanie Conkle. I have today's honored guest with me is none other than the famous Richard Nongard. So thank you for joining me, Richard. Before we get into talking about anything too, deep or serious or whatever, I like to wait a few minutes just so people can find us and know that we're on. And I'm gonna.
Yeah, I should go post this in the ICBCH group if you did.
Oh yeah. How do you do that?
Or you do it on your end, and that way people.
I do on my end. Okay. Hey, do you know how to do that?
Well, just take a link to wherever your group is or whatever, and drop it in over at the ICBCH group, and say, "Come on and join us. We're talking now."
Okay.
Just make a post.
Oh, just make a post in the.
Yeah, say, "Come on over here. We're over here right now."
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
In other words, tell them what we're doing, and then maybe they'll join us.
Okay. I'll go into your group and tell your people.
Yes, exactly. But you always have awesome guests, and so everyone's over your group.
Okay.
So we need to tell my group that, hey, something is happening.
Gotcha. I know that there is a way that we can broadcast in both groups because I've seen people do it. I just haven't had the time to sit down and figure that out yet.
Well, someday we will figure it out.
Someday we will figure this out. All right.
And everybody who is tuned in so far, sorry about my office being such a mess here, but I was doing some video filming and I never cleaned up.
Richard, you should get a screen like me, like one of these, like Japanese screens. Then you don't have to worry about cleaning up. And it doesn't matter if there's a big mess behind there. You've got one. There, perfect. There you go. See, we're professionals.
Yes, Stephanie, I interrupted my vacation here in the Bahamas to spend some time with you. I knew that it was well worth leaving the cabana behind and the sea diving and the snorkeling to spend some time with you. So I'm glad to get out of the water for a little bit.
Awesome, but you need to move the screen a little bit more over because I can still see.
It's not credible.
I love that. Okay, give me just a second for me to tell people to come over.
Already, so that's awesome. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, talk to our guest while I'm writing.
Welcome aboard, yes. I'm here with the amazing Stephanie Conkle. Today, we're going to be talking about waking hypnosis on the Waking Hypnosis Show. And I'm going to be asking her some questions about hypnosis to find out profound knowledge from, where do you live? Alabama, Georgia, somewhere like that. Georgia.
In near the greater Atlanta area.
I think I knew that. I just forgot. I'm tired because I did the 3-day train the trainer course and I put all my effort into it. And so I barely rolled out of bed this morning after 3 days of training, because those of you who teach, know that it's actually as much work as digging ditches or laying tile or anything else.
That's right.
I'm actually watching us on Facebook also, so I'm seeing 4 of us, and we look good on Facebook. I like this Believe TV. Yeah,
and it's Be Live TV, but just so you know, I think you'd believe. I like that. Yeah, I want to see how the comments are going to work, because it used to be that. Hang on. Okay. It used to be that the comments would come up and you could see who was leaving the comment, but since they put in these the privacy protection laws or whatever, now you can't see who the comment is from unless you're on Facebook and watching it simultaneously. But like from my end, I can see that there. So like I'll show you, like, comment. It'll say like, let's do
guest 1.
Yeah, it used to have their picture and now it doesn't have their picture anymore, so I'm not really sure.
the darn Europeans, some privacy European laws affecting our ability to bring.
Yeah, this must be a European company. See, so now
Are they a European company? That's exactly why then.
Okay, I think so. I mean, I don't really know actually. So here, comment from viewer. It used to be you could see their Facebook picture there, and you knew who was talking. It just says comment from Facebook. It doesn't have their name. So it's just really annoying now. But I still like it. It's still the best platform to use as of right now. So, but I hope they get that fixed soon because it's really cool when it's functioning properly.
Right.
And maybe it's just doing it for me because I think Victoria and like Selena and some other people use this and it seems to be working fine for them. I don't know why it's not working for me.
I don't know why either.
So, okay, looks like we have about 12 viewers. So welcome everybody. And we'll just go ahead and start talking now because we do have a limited amount of time.
I'm buying something on Amazon.
40 minutes with Richard. So we both have things that we've got to do immediately following this. But Richard, I want to say that I found this the other day.
What did you find? Hold on, I have to go back to where we are.
You need classes?
Oh, yes, there we go. The ICBCH annual convention in 2011.
This was the 2011.
Yeah, that's
convention.
Awesome. Yeah, and good looking name tags.
I was there, and it was really I've been to other hypnosis conventions that are wonderful, great, that I go to all the time every year. But I want to say that hands down, this was still remains the best hypnosis convention that I've ever been to. The best.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I think it's a really great thing. So Scott Sandlin had put together the Hypno Summit in probably 2009.
Yeah, I remember that.
So then we kind of turned that into the momentum into the ICBCH convention, the Dallas Hypnosis Convention, for a couple of years. And then that really became the catalyst and the precursor for HypnoThoughts.
Yeah.
So that's where HypnoThoughts germinated from. And so we have a long history there. So that was a great jumping point for really creating some awesome stuff in the hypnosis world.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was actually the first hypnosis conference I had ever been to. I had been a hypnotherapist for about maybe 3 years at that point, and I just kind of had my breakthrough year where I could afford to go anywhere. So, and I remember, and the reason why I chose your conference, well, it's because you advertised for it everywhere, but Scott Sandlin was going to be talking about or teaching. I think he was teaching pain relief hypnosis or something like that. And
he and Michael Allner did a whole day of hypnotic pain control. So the way I've formatted my conventions is this, and of course the next one's coming up in February, and you're one of the speakers.
That's right.
The HPTI convention combined now is
full circle.
February 25th, 26th, and 27th. So what I've always done is the first day, everybody in one room with a speaker all day. So in the past, I think I was the speaker the first year because I was easy to get a hold of me. The next year, I think Sandlin and Michael Allner did a whole day on pain control. This year, Jason Lynette and I are doing a whole day on scaling up your business. And that'll be on February 25th. And then that's followed by 30 awesome speakers, February 26th and 27th.
Yeah, and well, that's sort of where I was going with all of this leading up to this convention, because it's going to be a smaller convention than like HypnoThoughts Live, but it's going to be, I think I kind of like smaller conventions because I think it's a more intimate setting. You really get to know the speakers, you really get to know just your peer group better because it is more, I don't know, you're all together. There's just a sense of community and togetherness and not really so cliquey, right?
I kind of like to call it a boutique convention. And it's, the ICBCH, the HPTI convention is focused only on clinical hypnosis. It's not that all the other genres and areas of hypnosis aren't important, but it's a conference really focused on, for those who are passionate about helping other people with clinical hypnosis. So it's a much smaller group than some of the other conventions. And it's a real, and the other thing is, I did not pick well-known speakers except for you. I picked the people who are actually doing the real work of hypnosis to present their ideas. So it's a pretty cool convention. And this year's in Las Vegas. In the past we've done it in Dallas. I'm actually thinking of moving it every year now. I think maybe next year in Orlando, maybe some year in Virginia, some year in Dallas.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah. So it becomes a moving convention rather than the same place every year.
Right. That's cool. I like that idea. I mean, as much as I love Vegas, I feel like I'm there a lot. So it's great to have the.
Well, the only thing I love about a convention in Vegas is we got $46 hotel rooms.
Yeah.
You can fly to Vegas nonstop from any city for $200.
Yeah.
If you're a smart shopper and use Google Flights.
Right.
So
I agree. Yeah.
So it's the most cost-effective place for anybody.
Absolutely.
And so that's why Vegas is a popular place.
So, Richard, I can't imagine that anybody would not know who you are, but just in case there are some people watching who don't know you, can you give us a little bit of your background and maybe how you got into hypnosis?
It's funny. I meet people all the time who don't know who I am, and my thought is, have you not used the internet?
Right, exactly.
Have you not shopped on Amazon for a hypnosis book? Have you not gone to YouTube and looked up hypnosis techniques? No, I've been around forever. I'm a dinosaur. I do dye my hair. As old as I am. And my grandfather, when he died, was 98. He had all of his hair, so I will probably have all of my hair until I'm 98. And I'd love to. Somebody said I've actually done a convention in Houston. It was probably in the mid 2000s. But Dallas is actually a better location in Texas for a convention. So if I do it in Texas again, it'll be Dallas. Although I do love Houston. I used to live in Houston many, many years ago. But yeah, I've been around forever. I've been doing hypnosis for 30 years. It depends how you want to count it, maybe even earlier than that. I graduated, I guess, 29 years ago with my master's degree in counseling, and I've been integrating hypnosis into counseling ever since. And I've used hypnosis in a wide variety of different settings. First with substance abusers and with eating disorder clients. I work for William Rader at the William Rader Eating Disorder Treatment Programs. For those who are really old and remember that stuff from the 80s and the 90s. I've written a lot of books on hypnosis. So probably some of the best-selling books in hypnosis. So that's usually how people.
I have those books in my library.
People know me from books. So.
Yeah.
And I like writing, and I've written about 15 books, so I'm a pretty good writer, I guess, because people keep buying them. But, I said this in my class this week. I never wrote a book based on what I thought would sell. I've never done like a market survey, like what book would you like me to write next? No, never. I just write books to share ideas that have been beneficial to me that I want to pass along to other people. So some of my books have been flops, like nobody buys them because it was only interesting to me.
Right.
And every now and then,
get them written though, right? Because you have to have some kind of passion for what you're writing. So
right. So then some books people share my passion, so they buy a lot of those books. And but I've written books in kind of 3 areas. I've written psychology, counseling textbooks, and I've written hypnotherapy books. And then I've written books on leadership. I wrote a book on transformational leadership. It's an academic book back in 2013. And my most recent book is titled Viral Leadership, Seize the Power of Now to Create Lasting Transformation in Business. And it's a business book. It doesn't mention the word hypnosis once. But of course, the subtitle, Seize the Power of Now to Create Lasting Transformation in Business, you'll recognize as mindfulness and hypnotic. So
that's awesome. I am going to put the link to the the HPTI Winter Hypnosis Convention in these comments.
Yeah, because I'd love for people to come. They can still get the early bird rate too, and it's cheap. It's cheap to.
I'm gonna have to do that after the show because it's not letting me do it from this.
I think on Facebook I posted a link maybe.
Okay.
To the conference. I'll try it again. I'll post
So
it.
you said you're a dinosaur. You've been in this industry forever. What changes have you seen in this industry? How have you seen hypnotism grow since you've been around?
So I've seen it really change a lot, and I've seen it. I mean, so many different changes. I think there's one of the big changes is clinically.
Yeah.
30 years ago, it really was almost always a two-size-fits-all approach.
Okay.
There was the Ericksonian approach, and then there was the kind of the Freudian approach, regress to cause. Those were the only two options. There really wasn't much else out there. And
interesting.
And I've seen over the last 30 years just a ton of research. I am an academic, I guess. I love to read journals and things like that. And what we've had in the last 30 years in psychotherapy is the advent of what is called third wave behavioralism or contextual psychology. Now, these folks don't know they're doing hypnosis, but if you and I read their books and see what they're doing, we recognize these as hypnotic techniques.
Right.
So I'm really focused on integrating those evidence-based protocols into hypnosis, and there have been many other people who've done that as well. So I've seen we all have a much larger repertoire of strategies to deal with clients and help them than we did 30 years ago. And my philosophy is I want to take a new client who I've never worked with before, kind of like an inverted pyramid.
Yeah.
And I want to use the techniques that I know are most effective with most people first.
Yeah.
And then move to other things, right? And then that doesn't mean I won't do experimental things or techniques. For example, I'm not a big fan, of course, of aversion therapy as a technique in hypnosis, but I won't rule out any technique. And maybe there's a place with one of my clients.
I've got a version in my back pocket. Right. I can rule it out completely, but I had
one client. I was lucky. My attorney sent me his mother, and when my attorney sent me his mother. She was a smoker in her 60s, and she went because Sonny Boy sent her to me, and she didn't really want to be there. And as well as I do that smokers who aren't self-motivated and don't self-pay aren't. And I was ready to, after doing the pre-talk and speaking with her for 30 minutes, I was ready just to send her home till she was ready. And under her breath, she said, "I suppose there's only one way I'd quit smoking." Really? What's that? Well, if I thought smoking was disgusting and foul, it smelled like a monkey's ass, I wouldn't.
Yeah. And sometimes clients want a version, and they'll tell you, "Hey, just make me sick. I just want to, I just never."
The most disgusting aversion therapy session ever. I actually based it on Gilbert Gottfried's joke, "The Aristocrats," which you.
Oh Lord. Okay. Yeah. I
kind of was thinking of that joke.
I have an idea.
I mean, it was foul and disgusting, and she had a big smile when we were done with the session, and she's like, "Thank you so much." And I went home and took a shower.
I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall during that session.
Right. So I'm glad it wasn't recorded.
Right. I could come back to bite me.
Yeah, exactly. But I want to start with the techniques, the broadest techniques. I hear people say all the time, "Well, we shouldn't be using progressive muscle relaxation." Oh my God, we should be teaching every client progressive muscle relaxation.
Absolutely.
There's a huge body of research that shows that yes, this won't impress hypnotists at a hypnosis convention.
Right.
Remember Benson's work over the last 30 years at Harvard Medical School on the relaxation response. All of those things I like to refer to hypnosis as skill building hypnosis. I'm not doing something to them. I'm teaching them something so they can take it with them when they leave.
And I think clients expect that when they come into your office and they're lying down on your big chair, your couch, or whatever you have. I think they're expecting some sort of PMR. So even if it's just a mini PMR, I don't go 45 minutes with my PMR. Right. But I'll just give them some muscle relaxation. I throw that into every session because they're expecting that. And the times when I don't do it because I'm rushed or I forget to do it or don't feel like doing it, they'll say something.
If a hypnotist doesn't count backwards and doesn't do some PMR, that's what Hollywood taught them hypnosis was. They were hypnotized, even though we used all kinds of really nifty methods. Yeah.
I mean, I remember taking a client for the second session and did a wonderful PMR in the first session. She was a somnambulist. I was like, I don't need to go through a whole PMR with her. And so I just did an arm drop or something like that. And after the session, she was like, I enjoyed the session, but I was really looking forward to that whole relaxation part that you did the last time. I was like driving here looking forward to that part of the session. And I was like, oh, lesson learned.
If I had videoed this session, it would have been incredible. It was a perfect conversational hypnosis session. It was a weight loss client. It was session number 5. He'd achieved his goals, and we spent an hour and a half in deep rapport across the desk. If you had videoed this and posted this as a perfect example of conversational hypnosis, you would have thought, wow, Richard is a true master. So at the end of the time,
when you are a true master,
I said to him, it's been great having you. I look forward to seeing you next week. And then he turned to me and he said, well, aren't we going to do the hypnosis? Right. And so, of course, his expectation is if I'm seeing a hypnotist, he's going to put me in the recliner, he's going to put the headphones on, he's going to guide me through a session. I said, of course we are. And I brought him over to, and did a 10 or 15 minute session with him.
I know. And how many times, like you do the pre-talk and you had such a great pre-talk, that they're done. Like, that their issue is resolved, but you still have to go through the whole pageantry of the chair.
Well, my theory on hypnosis is that's actually what we're supposed to do. By the time they close their eyes, the change has already been made.
Yeah.
The hypnosis with the eyes closed is actually the ritual to ratify the change, which has already taken place.
I love that. Can you repeat that again?
When the client closes their eyes, the change has already been made. We're already in agreement. We already have the yes sets. So the formal hypnosis is actually the ritual that ratifies the change, which has already taken place. So I think for a new hypnotist, you can conceptualize it this way. A good pre-talk is the first session. The second session is actually when they close their eyes because they've made the change. So now it's about continuing that change. See, when my smokers close their eyes in my office, they've already had their last cigarette. They're already a non-smoker. You can't smoke in my office. So they are in the place. They're not going to become a non-smoker because of the session. They are a non-smoker. So now this ritual is ratifying that state that already exists. And I think it's more powerful.
Yeah. So I love it. Everybody take notes.
You're trying to
learn some more, get some more gems of wisdom from Richard Nongard, myself, and from how many other hypnotists are going to be there or hypnotherapists are going to be there?
Well, there'll be a bunch of people at the convention. My guess probably 100 people-ish. But
how many speakers?
There's 27 speakers.
27.
So a ton of people.
So if you want more of this kind of like really
all people who are doing the real work of hypnosis, James Hazelrig's seeing clients on a regular basis. Kelly Von Heidekamp, she's built a great practice in the last couple of years in Minnesota. Richard Dama has been doing, private practice work for 14 years in hypnosis and counseling for 40 years. And so it's people who are doing the real work of hypnosis. And of course, David Snyder, it's going to be one of the speakers, Jason Lynette, Martin Peterson, Ken Guzzo's coming.
Awesome.
Yeah. So there's, but again, even the big name people like you or Ken are people who are actually helping people and seeing clients. That's really important. I always tell people, don't ever get hypnosis training from somebody you can't actually book an appointment with.
Oh, I love that.
Who should I train? Train with somebody you can make an appointment with. If you can't make an appointment,
if they're not doing the work, then how do they know that what they're teaching is effective?
There are a few exceptions. Back to 3-4 years ago when I had my throat surgeries and I couldn't speak. Obviously, I couldn't talk, so I couldn't see clients. So I took about 18 months off. But
or if somebody's retired from hypnosis, they've done it, or whatever, they've done it for years, and then they still take. And they're just teaching now. They're not seeing clients,
But I see clients. My offices at 67, 87 West Tropicana. You can call Steph, book an appointment, and come see me in my office. I mean, I have I don't have any sessions today because I just got done teaching a class, and but tomorrow morning I start up with sessions. So.
Yeah, me too. I'm working tomorrow, and just like with all the traveling that you're doing and all of the classes that you're teaching and all of that, you still make time to see the regular average Joe off the street, which I think is amazing.
Show, make an appointment with me and come see me for $175 for the first session and $150 for the second session. Yeah. I don't overprice myself because of some grandiose sense of self-importance. I do the real work of hypnosis just like other people do.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. I have to admit that at this point in my career, I'm not necessarily seeing clients for the money, although I like the money. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
And at $175 a session, I can, or even $150 a session.
I need to lower my prices. What are you doing?
I can make some real money. Well, and I suppose, I charge $550 for my smokers. I actually sell solutions rather than selling billable hours. I think that's actually a more effective way anyway. Yeah. So people really aren't buying me for $175 an hour. They're buying solutions, and that's what I'm offering them. I do a lot of coaching. A lot of the folks who I'm seeing now I get the sort of the person off the street. I'm afraid to fly. I have a needle phobia. I want to stop chasing cars, whatever the presenting problem is. I have those folks in my office. Just worked with a lady last week who came to see me because she has high blood pressure, and in the past she's used hypnosis as a way of controlling her blood pressure. And her doctor she was working with a physician, so this wasn't contrary to the physician, and he wanted to raise her dose, and she said, let me try this first. And so, I see those folks, but I also see a lot of people come to see me for multi-day sessions, 2 or 3 day sessions, and they'll come into Las Vegas because it's a great place to be. I'll pick them up at 10 o'clock in the morning at their hotel. We'll go to the office. We'll do work till 1 o'clock. We'll take a lunch break for an hour and a half, and then we'll come back and meet in the afternoon and into the early evening, and really accomplish significant life changes.
So they're flying. So some people are flying in to see you, which I think is really awesome. What do you think about doing the sessions online hypnotherapy?
So I do online sessions too, using Zoom or Skype or things like that.
I know some people have very strong feelings about that. I do it myself, but
I like doing them. The thing that's interesting about doing online hypnosis is I think many hypnotists think these are going to be smoking cessation, weight loss, and whatever else. I don't think I've ever had a smoker for online hypnosis. The clients who see me for online hypnosis are all over the world: Singapore, Argentina, USA, Canada, Europe, and they're because I have such a high profile on YouTube. I have like 10 million hits. Those people seek me out and from all over the world. And almost always the issues that they're seeing me for online are issues related to life-crippling anxiety or life-crippling depression or issues related to confidence and self-esteem in their corporate world and those kind of things. And but I really enjoy working with them online as well. I had an interesting call online. This was somebody who was a business traveler who, because of a horrible flight, was on business in Mexico City and, of course, had to fly home, but had developed a phobia of flying and couldn't get home.
Wow.
So they said, hey, I need to see you online because I can't get home for a session. And so they took their flight home and sent me a nice email saying, wow, without you, I would have been stuck in Mexico forever.
That's fantastic. So I'm looking through the comments and seeing if anyone has said anything. Okay. Not really, other than hello.
Nobody's got a comment.
I'm going to invite people who are watching this to go ahead now, and if you have any questions for Richard or myself about anything, it doesn't have to be about the winter conference, it could be about anything. Go ahead now and ask us your questions or leave us your comments, because we just have about around 15 minutes left, and I do want you guys to participate because you guys are really important.
Yeah, I'm good with dogs. I'm good with foreign languages. I'm good with cooking. So if you have any cooking or dog related questions, or foreign language questions,
foreign language, he can. How many languages can you speak, Richard?
Well, I can speak Pig Latin and English.
Pig Latin.
I can speak Australian. I can
speak Australian. You can speak Canadian.
British Canadian. I can speak Chinese pretty well, so I can get around in Mandarin Chinese pretty well, and I can speak enough Russian to get around too. So
Oh, Russian.
Russian, English, and Chinese. You know, it's weird. Somebody called me last week from California, and they wanted hypnosis training, and I picked up on her Russian accent, and so I started answering her in Russian, and then she said, she of course said, "Oh, you know Russian," and I said, "Well, enough to have this conversation," and she said, "Oh," she said, I lived in China for a number of years, so I also speak Chinese." I said, "No way, I speak Chinese too." So I started speaking Chinese to her. So she's the only other person I met whose languages were English, Russian, and Chinese. So
I was blown away by that.
Right. Somebody asked the dates for the February convention, February 25th, 26th, and 27th here in sunny Las Vegas. I can't promise it'll be hot, but I can promise it'll be better weather than wherever you live.
It's like 30 degrees here in Georgia. I'm in the deep south, and it's like 30 degrees outside right now.
So what I tell people is in February, I can't promise it'll be warm, but I can promise it'll be sunny.
Yeah.
I can also promise there'll be no snow.
Yes. That's a plus.
That's February 25th, 26th, and 27th to hear Stephanie Conkle speak on. What are you speaking on?
Yes, well, I'm glad you asked me that. My topic is how to identify if somebody has resistance to hypnosis, and then easily and very quickly remove the resistance right there. So not only resistance to being hypnotized, but once they get into hypnosis, if there's resistance that comes up there too, I show you how to figure that out.
Change.
So say that again.
Resistance to change. It might not be resistant to hypnosis, but it might not be aligned with their.
Yeah.
I would say there may not be a parallel program between their conscious and subconscious mind.
Yeah, yeah. And so I have some different ways of dealing, some different techniques I'm going to teach you how to deal with whichever issue comes up, whether it's because you do get the clients who are resistant to hypnosis. They'll book you. It was their idea. It wasn't their spouse's idea. And you've done your pre-talk and whatever, and they still are resistant for some reason. We have to find out what that reason is. But I show you how to do that very easily, very effortlessly. I'm not going to reveal that here. So you have to come to the conference to find that out. So I never send anybody away because they can't be hypnotized.
That's my theory is we're all in trance. So hypnosis really isn't about doing hypnosis. It's about working with a client's existing trance states. Stephen Gilligan coined the term trance utilization. So we're really utilizing the trance states.
I 100% agree with that.
They asked the question is, will the February convention be accessible online? No. So one of the things that I'm passionate about is that an experience of camaraderie and partnership that occurs live should not be broadcast on the internet. So we won't be broadcasting the HPTI convention. Conventions that are broadcast online are conventions that have declining enrollment and usually fizzle out after a couple of years.
Because sure. Why am I going to pay the money to be there if I can just watch it online, right?
And really, it's not, the learning takes place not just from the profound things that Stephanie's going to share, but by being with Stephanie. And if you're not with Stephanie, you're missing the experience. So everybody can count on none of my live classes nor any of my conventions will ever be simulcast live. I did that many years ago. We used to do the Seattle Hypnosis Conference. Roger Moore and I put it on every year. And then we started simulcasting it. And in my opinion, that was what did it in. It was just, we didn't really know. We weren't intending to be greedy. It was like, oh, we're going to make this available to more people. But then less people started coming. And we, after a few years, it ended up being disbanded. So I will never broadcast any conference that I do. I
think that's smart, actually.
Yeah. Any conference that simulcasts their event is a conference that won't be here in 2 or 3 years.
All right. Somebody wants to know if there's an itinerary for them to choose which speakers they want to hear.
So here's the great news. It's a small conference, so there's only 2 rooms. So the schedule's not posted, but the people who are speaking and what their topics are, and so you'll pick one of two rooms. So you'll attend 50%. I know a lot of conferences sell the audio recordings of the other events. That's not something we're going to do. If you're a registered participant and you're there, we're going to give you those recordings from the sessions that you missed. So those will be so if you're a participant, you'll get access to all the conference material.
That's awesome.
You will attend 50% of them live, and you'll have the other half. But not, again, it's not going to be sold to everybody. It's going to be given to those who are part of the conference.
So Sharon from Houston wants to know, what is the best way to explain how to tell if anyone can be hypnotized?
Well, everybody can be hypnotized. There isn't anybody who can't be hypnotized. Now, there might be some people who won't follow your process, or there might be some people who don't like you personally and don't trust you and don't respond the way we want them to.
Or some people who believe that they can't be hypnotized.
Well, and sometimes you have those people too, and I found for those people, just a matter of explaining what hypnosis really is, that everybody experiences hypnosis. You're watching TV, highway hypnosis, a focused phone conversation, suggestibility. Advertising proves everyone can be hypnotized, because we wouldn't have an advertising industry if people weren't suggestible. So once I educate people on hypnosis, they then recognize that, wow, everybody can be hypnotized. But the reality is, some people won't respond to me. In those studies back in the day, the Stanford scale of, hypnotic susceptibility. Some people won't respond to a grad student with no training in hypnosis reading a script from a piece of paper.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that they can't be hypnotized. This is one of the things stage hypnosis has really done for the hypnosis industry. Stage hypnotists are really good about dismissing people from the stage who aren't going to be good in the show by simply saying, this doesn't mean that you can't be hypnotized. It just means maybe you're focused on something else. The light caught your attention, or that you really wanted to enjoy the show from the audience. And so, go find your seat and enjoy the rest of the show. But try this thing called hypnosis again, and you'll find it's really helpful to you. So
I love hypnotists. They bring me a lot of clients, because they really set up the power behind hypnosis. They really get that into the audience's mind. And, and I just love them. And then at the end of their show, they always say, go see your local hypnotherapist if you need help with, this, or this. And
people come to, maybe not even a direct referral, although the hypnotists here do refer people to me, but people say, well, Aunt Myrna, who is a really normal person, was chirping like a bird. And if hypnosis can make Aunt Myrna, chirp like a bird in front of an audience, then I know it must be real. So hypnotize me to quit smoking, lose weight, stop chasing cars, get better test scores, exceeded my sports performance, overcome my depression, mitigate my anxiety, and recover faster from disease, injury, and illness.
Okay, so somebody applied for a visa to come to HypnoThoughts from India, but didn't get it. So online is the best for them if available, or that's for him.
Yeah, so HypnoThoughts won't be simulcast either. Scott will never broadcast HypnoThoughts for the same reason I won't. And I do understand that that's limited. I wish the U.S. government was different and would give you a visa, but they apparently aren't real good with giving people visas who probably should have them, and that's I'm sorry. If it was me giving you a visa, I would give you a visa without a fee, and I probably wouldn't even ask you any questions. But other than, do you really want to go to the conference? Yes, the U.S. government does not make tourism or learning in America easy for people. So you have my compassion, those of you who are not in the USA and can't participate. I would love to come to India, though. So I love to travel. I've been all over the world. I've been to almost every continent in many countries. So if you have a conference, if you put together a conference in your country, I will come to you. And chances are pretty good I will come to you, even if I don't make money, just because I love traveling all over the world. So I'm probably not going to go for free, but cover my costs. I'll probably go do a conference in India.
I know the next country I want to go do a conference in is Australia. So I'm saving up for that and figuring out how I'm going to get there and what I'm going to do when I'm over there.
last week, Miami to Sydney, $649 round trip.
You're kidding me. What?
A Qantas sale or something. I saw that in one of my airline groups.
Oh.
First, traveling the world really is hypnotic. I'll learn more about hypnosis, not just teaching in other countries, but just being a traveler in other countries. I'll learn more about people, more about the subconscious mind, more about suggestibility, communication, all of these sorts of things by traveling.
Body language when you're trying to talk to other people.
Right. Yeah. And traveling the world really isn't expensive. So I'm going to China next week. I bought 4 tickets to China for $1,600.
Wow.
$403 a piece, all AX to Beijing. And you just have to know how to look for the sales.
That's amazing.
Travel's not too bad.
That's amazing. I used to be a professional traveler for 1 year. I took off a year of college and I just backpacked, and a buddy of mine, we just backpacked around mostly Europe.
When I was a kid, I never traveled with my family to anywhere interesting around the world. So I made sure that I took my kids all over the world with me. And so now, Alex, I have to pay for it. I was like, Alex, come back for Thanksgiving. He was like, no, I'm going to Portugal.
Oh.
But I did go to Portugal with Alex 3 years ago. So, and to Barcelona. So, but I've turned them all into world travelers.
That's awesome. Yeah. So cool. So we only have a few minutes left. This is your last chance to leave comments. Let's see. Looks like somebody left another comment here. Why isn't that? Okay.
Yeah, so some speakers might post their seminars online, but that's different than a simulcast. So some presenters will make a recording and then make that available to their audiences later. I have no problem with that if HPTI or ICBCH instructors do that, but we're not simulcasting it. In other words, you can't register for the conference and do the conference online from a camera in the back of the room as if you were there. But some presenters will probably record their material and provide it in YouTube, Facebook, or on their own websites. But I leave that decision up to each presenter.
Well, Richard, I am so excited for the HPTI Winter Conference. I cannot wait to see you next month and just do this conference. It's going to be
5 weeks away from now.
5 weeks away. Tell everyone the dates again, February 20th.
The dates are 25th, 26th, and 27th.
27th.
And because it's still 30 days and 21 days out, you can get cheap airfare to Vegas still.
So buy your airline tickets now, and the rooms are cheap too because there's you can
$46 a night.
$46 a night. So
whenever I book dates,
do it.
classes or conferences, I always look at the hotel rates first. I pick the cheapest days.
Yeah.
So people are like, why is it on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? That's the cheapest.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
You can be all in from virtually anywhere in the USA for $600. Conference fee, airplane ticket, hotel nights.
So affordable. So affordable. You guys register now. As soon as this is over, go register. Go click on that link in the comments.
Or if you have questions, she'll answer them.
So, well, Richard, my friend, thank you so much for coming on and joining me today. I love your energy. I love learning from you. You're awesome. You're amazing. I just give so much gratitude to you, sir.
Thank you. And by the way, you get the best nails in Georgia award. Show us those nails.
Thank you.
Nails as you moved your hands around. So
thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks, Richard.
Thank you. Call me even when we're not on TV.